Live from Long Island, New York, it's Love, Death, and Taxes. I'm Ryan O'Neill Williams, and my lovely co-host this afternoon, this evening, this almost the last day of February is, of course, the lovely Agnes Amisano. How are you doing, Agnes? How was your week?
Very busy,
Okay,
quite unpleasant due to the weather.
a lot of snow, right?
It's yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, we got lots of snow. Yes.
lots of snow. Yes, ladies and
Um,
gentlemen.
I,
If you
it,
didn't know, we're in New York and we're on Long Island. So when New York City got what, 20 inches? We got 30 in places 36. It's a little crazy out here. And it's all over. It's just still like, and then we got more. They're like, oh, you think you got enough? No, let's just give you some more like a couple days later, right?
the
How,
pile,
so did you dig out?
the pile in the front of our house, it's taller than I am.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's a lot of
So
snow. It's a
it
lot.
it it, it took four guys 2 hours just to do the side and the front. They have to come back next day to do the back and
Do the
the
rest.
mailbox. So
Mm.
yeah, that was an experience that I think that at this stage in my life, I'll be happy if I don't experience that ever again.
Mm.
I will die happy if I don't see a snowflake in my entire life.
Stop.
Okay. No,
Let's not
seriously.
bring those things. Let's not bring that kind of climate change on ourselves. Please do not ever. We need a little snow, little snow. But yeah, today we're experiencing winter, but we're also going to be talking about the winter of your life as well. Because today we're going to be talking a little bit more about death and the things you can do to prepare for that. Agnes, you've been going to a class for becoming a death doula,
Well, I prefer end of life specialist.
end of life
Dev,
specialist.
when you tell someone dev doula, they will look at you funny a little bit. It's at least to me, it's a little not that well known name.
Term,
A
right,
bird
right,
a bird doula, it's one thing just because this is simply describing a woman who is assisting with transition. So with the bird, you coming from you coming transitioning into this world. With the dev doula is you transitioning from this world
right.
to afterlife, depending of your beliefs. So I'm doing that simply to gain more understanding of the process of dying, process of grieving, so I can be a better facilitator in the bereavement groups
Okay.
that I'm volunteering in. So it's a lot more than just, I had a training regarding how people who are left after somebody's passing, how they're processing their feelings, what they're
Right,
doing, and how they're feeling, and how to help them, and the tools to give it to them.
right.
With the end of life specialist, you can actually start talking about those tools and giving those tools and preparing for things that yet to come uh, regarding the process of someone passing. If someone is like me, I take death as part of life, and I was prepared fully with will and everything since I was in my late 20s.
Hmm.
I just want to have my life organized. I have all my instructions prepared in writing. Everything is sealed. When the time comes, my husband will open and do us. You know what? This is simply taking care of someone, of the people, of your loved ones that you are leaving behind, because
Hmm.
it's easier process for them than, oh, would she like this, would she like that, should I do this, should I do that. There's a lot of ifs. There is many people in a family that might be creating, you might be creating some disagreements, some anger, some feelings that they should not be at that present point, because family should unite at that moment, and be together. But we know life better than that, and we know the situations that they are occurring after someone passing or during the process of passing. So, as I noticed, even from the meetings, from bereavement meetings, many people are left with uh, quite chaos and problematic situations, just
Right.
because either death occur tragically, sadly, and that particular person was not prepared for passing, and the affairs were not exactly in order. So, if we could encourage anyone to start looking at this process of transitioning from our current situation to end of life, and actually to be prepared for that moment and leave instructions and leave all the informations for people, for their loved ones, for the family, that would have been so much easier. For
Yeah.
example, if you're not gonna we're going to talk about just few documents, that's going to be our first episode today.
Right.
We're going to do few, because I be honest with you, I didn't realize myself how many things people do not take under consideration, even during the moment of preparation. Many people is afraid of that transition, of the process of passing, which none
Hmm.
of us will avoid. Um, and maybe because it's a scary process, maybe not, which we will address in another episode.
Okay.
Now, we are not going to start giving anyone legal advices or medical advices. We
Yeah.
encourage everyone to contact, if there is some complicated situation. Definitely, you should reach out to your attorney
Right.
and have them give you legal advice and do everything by the book. But we're just going to mention few documents that everyone should look into preparing, either by themselves, but again, the best with the help of an attorney.
Right. This is for entertainment purposes only, people. We are not here to give any legal advice. We're not here to give you any medical advice because we are not legally allowed to do that. So check with other things, but we'd love to give you some ideas so you can start to think about it. Say if you wanted to go to an attorney that, an estate attorney that handles this kind of thing at the end, or you'd like to speak to a doctor or people who are medical professionals to do that, please, 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 please have that. So it, in my head, I was like, huh, the password to my very large trove of photos. uh, what were you thinking about? I'm talking about the pictures of my kids and pictures of my family photos.
Let's
That's
go
what
with
I'm
that.
talking about.
Let's go with that.
What
Believe it or
are-
not, the loved ones are finding different kind of
photos.
magazines or photos after passing out the loved ones, just because they didn't have time to take care of that.
Yeah, you
It
you
does
never know when it's gonna happen.
it
And
does
so
happen. You're
I
talking
gotta say, this happens a lot. Nowadays, it is apparent to me that a lot of people are not preparing for end of life because every time you turn around, you see people saying so and so died, especially when it's an accident. But sometimes it's much older people too, and they are requesting that you make a donation at a GoFundMe page, which says to me people were not thinking about dying. And I guess it does make sense if it's an accident that's sudden, and if it's a very young person, I get it. But sometimes it's a much older person, a person in their 40s, 50s, 60s, and they pass away. And I'm like, what do you mean you have to get a GoFundMe for that person? That person's been doing all this stuff. So it's clear that a lot of people are not thinking about the end. And unfortunately, we should. I was talking to one of my friends the other day about this, and was saying, we're of the age where we have to have a plan for our children should we pass away. They should be set if we pass away. You know what I mean? So, yes, very, very interesting. All right, so you're going to this class to learn how to deal with death before it happens, not necessarily after it happened. Because what you already learned about how to take care of people's grief, the people who are left behind, but now you're setting it up so that they deal with it before it actually happens.
Well,
Very
it
nice.
gives me it gives me better understanding of what already either they went
Mhm.
through,
Okay.
or even to help them understanding the way of thinking. As people that they love their loved ones, they have a lot of questions. They
Mhm.
are asking themselves how their loved one was feeling, their husband, their wife, their child, their mother and father. Learning about the process of passing
Mhm.
gives me that little bit of insight what might have been in their mind.
Yes.
um there is hmm, many names that we can use for the why people pass. Some are passing due to suicide, but we no longer calling committing suicide. We're talking about death due to suicide, due to suicide. It's by suicide.
Mhm.
So there's many questions about how the religion will look at it, or how um, what might have been in that person's head, why the first person does not recognize that, let's say, other people care and love them so much, and they are still going with their plans and committing certain acts. This course gives me a bit of insight. It's quite I'm quite fascinated with this.
Yeah.
I read about things that I never even thought about, that they might be important.
Okay.
And yes, I noticed people were shocked that the person in late 80s or 90s passed away. To anybody else from outside the circle of loved ones of the person who passed, we look at each other and say, okay, how old you are? Oh, I'm sorry. But this is not like, oh my God, what happened? Right? For a family member, which
Mhm.
I experienced myself, if you have a person who proved themselves to beat the illness over and over and over again, so you kind of getting used to that. No matter what will happen, that person will beat that, and they
Oh,
will make it through. So there is a when it happens, it's like, oh my God, how that happened? How is that possible? When for everyone else, it's like, were you there?
right.
Did you have your eyes open? But we cannot be rude about it, and we have to take under consideration everyone's feelings.
Oh, okay.
So we will address that later on as well. But let's just for documents, legal documents. Let's address that first
Mm.
and most of all. Will and testament.
Okay.
If you're not going to leave your last will and testament. And trust me, those are going through probates depending on which county in New York. It takes sometimes over 2 years. It can take over 2 years before anything will be distributed
Right. Right.
to the
Can you
beneficiary.
explain probate to the audience first?
Well, it's a process in court that it takes everything under consideration to make a list of um, all the assets, bank accounts, safe deposit boxes, your real estate, your cars, your artwork, your furniture at home, every single thing that you have. They have to find your next of kin. There is a lengthy process of sending letters, publishing in newspapers, looking for family members, looking for it takes time. It takes time, it takes money out of
And
estate, paying legal costs as well, so that costs you more money.
it's all because you did not leave a will, correct?
Yes. And if they're not going to be successful to find next of kin, guess who is getting everything you leave?
Oh, the government.
Beautiful
Yeah.
state that you live in.
Yes. Yeah. So yeah, if they can't figure out who it goes to, it just goes to them. Okay, I see what you're saying.
Yes.
All right. So
So
that's number one. Definitely get yourself a will. So that's one of the key legal documents that you want to have.
what
What
is
else?
easier? What is easier to deal with
Mhm.
if while you're still alive, you're making decisions and you are either um, adding a person, a second person to your bank account, or appointing beneficiary at the bank, so the person doesn't have to, let's say your child or your spouse doesn't have to go and fight for the money that they're in this account. And because you cannot just go with, there's the death certificate, can I please have the money? It doesn't work. It's not that easy. It's always a legal process, so you can avoid unnecessary trouble. And depending on what kind of financial situation you are in, you can access that money. Maybe that money will be necessary for the burial,
Yeah.
maybe to pay some bills. That
Yes. Yes.
not everyone is nice, like me, and 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 make sure that you are not leaving bills behind you, or at least money to, from the insurance, to have enough to pay for all the expenses and pay your bills and things of that nature. Or to avoid legal actions as well. Let's say you have a house.
Right.
Um, guess what you can do to avoid going to court and waiting for probate to go through? You can actually add somebody's name to the deed. So this way, when you are no longer around, that person have your property clear and free without any issues. They
Okay.
don't have to fight for ownership.
Right.
The same thing, when it's a married couple, I get it that at the beginning there might be lack of trust between the two partners, and you don't want to put everything, make it joint. But when you are seasoned couple, why not to do that?
Right.
Why not to do that? Why don't you just do everything jointly? This way, that person doesn't have to have their heart broken twice, once over your passing, and second that they have to fight for something that rightfully should be theirs.
Right.
Just
Right.
because someone
Especially
was
if were especially if you were married more than one time, or um, if you have a person, or you might be in a relationship where it's same sex, or any kind of thing that could make it so that people could question whether or not you and that person were together. You definitely want to make it much more simple by using something. So what are we talking about? Like a power of attorney? What
no,
are we talking about?
we get to the power of attorney.
Okay. So you're talking about putting all of this in the will.
And or will is not necessary if you distribute everything beforehand.
Oh,
Just
wouldn't
think
that be
about
a
it.
will though? Isn't that
Um,
technically what that
no,
is?
well, if I'm adding my husband's name to the deed of the house,
Mhm.
I don't need a will, because if with my passing, the house is his.
I guess it depends. So, I mean, what if it used to be the family home, your family home for your family beforehand, and then other people feel like, oh, you pass away, and so now this should be more family property or something like that. I guess they should have figured that out before you moved in there, right?
Yeah.
They should have.
You're talking about family homes. Let's, for example,
Mm,
I'm the last one standing. I'm the only my spouse is no longer around, right? And I'm the
right.
only one spending. And I have, let's say, three children,
Okay.
right? So with me passing and I didn't sign over my house to anybody,
Okay.
this is going to, I need a will. And in
That's the
my
probate.
will, yeah,
That's straight to
yes.
probate. Huh?
And
That's
in my will, I am simply making my wishes known, saying that I want this house to be sold and divided in three, so each of my children will get their share.
okay.
Or I can say my favorite child's gonna get the house. That's my wish. But then my favorite child needs to pay off their siblings and give them 1/3 to each of the child to make it fair. Okay.
Okay.
So it's either or. Again, it's easier for everyone if we will just plan ahead.
Yeah.
Appoint beneficiaries or appoint executor. In a will, you should appoint executor. So this way, a government is not doing that for you, not charging you for it, not appointing a third party to do that. Pick someone who you trust the most
Right.
for them to carry out your wishes
Right. Right.
the way you plan to do it, you know.
Mm,
And it's good to have an attorney to do your will, so this way no one can dispute it. No one can say, oh, this person was in sound mind, they didn't
okay.
know what they were doing. I should have this or I should have that. Now if someone will make, let's say, for example, again, the same three children, and I'm crossed with all three of them, I will say, the house is mine under my name. Legally, I am not obligated to leave that house to anybody.
You can give it to the cat, like this woman, that woman who did
Absolutely.
that. Yeah.
Mr. Whiskers, it's getting everything.
Shame on you.
Or simply say that I wish for this house to be sold and all the money are given to SPCA.
Charity. Right. 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 Something like that.
And Mr. Whiskers will be still taken care of.
Yeah.
So power of attorney, that's very important document.
Mm,
We skipped before I start talking about power of attorney. Guardianship. If you have small children, you should definitely make sure that you have documents for guardianship. Who's going to take care of those children while they're still at the school age, small? Who's going to guide them? Who's going to take care of them? And you should really make sure that you have some kind of accounts, trust accounts established for them to have it for the future expenses, their school, and things of that nature.
right. Right.
So,
No lemony snicket situation. You know, lemony snicket. And the kids are like at this place with a weirdo. It's like, all right, you don't want that. You want to
yeah,
choose someone very specific.
and you should talk to that person ahead of time.
Yes.
Not,
Yes.
oh, are you Mr. Williams? Mr. Williams, please come to the reading of the will.
Knock,
Come to the
kids,
reading
like
of the
three
will.
kids just
Yeah.
show up at your doorway. No, no, no.
You are expecting
What is?
that you get $1 million from someone. Meanwhile, I'm leaving you three of my children to take care of. Surprise!
What is this?
Where's my $1 million? I don't want your three kids.
Mhm.
So talk to the person beforehand, because
Yeah,
you can't force anyone. No one will drop the three children at your door and say they're yours, and you have to do somebody's bidding. It just doesn't happen that way. So
straight
you
to
know
the orphanage.
I think you'll be best right over there. No,
Sorry,
no.
I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that.
Well, I don't have three kids, so you're safe. Now, power of attorney.
Hmm.
Power of attorney is, there are different power of attorneys.
No, I did not know that.
There are different power of attorneys, different power of attorney for the state, different power of attorney for internal revenue. There's different powers, a durable power of attorney, which usually people will use in those kind of situations.
Okay, okay.
So there's like a couple pages. There's from A, I believe, to might be till Z. For what reason, for what purpose you giving that power of attorney to a person? Because it doesn't mean that you have to give them power of attorney over your whole life.
Right.
You can give them power of attorney just for the banking purposes, or just to take care of you, or different reasons.
Yeah, you can
I
limit
will
it.
invite everyone just to take a look at a sample of power of attorney on durable power of attorney on the internet, to just familiarize yourself with how it looks like and what it is. And with that has to be notarized. And again, just for your peace of mind, go through the attorney through this process. You can do this with one consultation. You don't have It doesn't cost that much, but if you really have assets, protect yourself and do this right. Just do
Right.
this right with the attorney. Don't do it just by yourself. You have to notarize in front of the witnesses. Your will has to be also signed in front of the witnesses. So it's not that difficult to achieve that, but it's also not an easy step for anyone to do this fraudulently.
Okay,
So
good.
with an attorney, you always covered. You have more authority. You have more legal basis. You
Right,
know, someone
right,
appears who you're living with everything on your hands.
right,
They
right,
they look more legit than anyone else.
right. They're not just going off the seat of their pants. The attorney will be saying, "I'm doing this for these legal reasons and whatever," so they know the rules and whatever is happening. Yeah, there are quite a few of those out here. When I'm working with marketing people out here a lot, I come across a lot of elder, yeah, elder attorneys. They call them like elder.
There
Um,
is there is elder law for
yeah,
protection for anything. So,
mhm.
but if you find even family law attorney, he can do
They
that.
can take care
Real
of. Yeah,
estate, and
I've
yeah,
seen.
and
Yeah.
estate attorneys, they have more than enough experience in knowing exactly how everything's supposed to be done.
Okay.
Um, Another thing which is extremely important, and it's being signed not only at the end of life, but each time you go into hospital. Healthcare proxy.
Okay.
You're choosing a person, and be very careful who you choose for that. You're giving authority to that person to make decisions for you in
Right.
case you are not able to do that. If you are not able to speak, or you are not conscious to make choices, if you are going to be on a ventilator, or you're just going to pull the plug.
Right. Right.
Be
Right.
careful who you choose for that.
That's right. Your DNR, do not resuscitate, is a problem. So you want to be very careful. And the reason why she's saying be careful is because if you choose the wrong person who happens to also have some sort of conflict of interest, like they're the number one person on the will, who knows if they're going to pull a plug on you, and then you're in a different problem. But
Yeah,
yes,
because they can consent or refuse medical treatment, surgeries, medications, blood transfusion.
right. And I
What
mean,
kind?
if that's what you wanted, fine. But if that's not
Yes.
what you wanted, now you've got a problem.
So usually there has to be a conversation about that
Yeah, I
beforehand
think so.
with that
Right.
person,
Mhm.
because they should be representing you and your wishes.
Right.
So, you know, don't upset that person afterwards, because that healthcare proxy should be with your doctor,
Hmm.
should be with the hospital that you're choosing to be taken care of, and also copy really should be with your attorney.
Okay. Good.
So
Good.
everyone should have the same copy of everything, and hospitals lose that. Believe it or not, they keep it only on hand Why are you there? If you come back 3 months later, they want another one.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you have notarized or presented that healthcare proxy from your attorney or your personal doctor, your family doctor, it's more official than just, oh, hold on, I think I had it in my purse somewhere, and then there it is.
Right.
So
Okay.
yeah, it's important. And the last one that I wanted to bring to our listeners' attention is HIPAA release form.
Mm-hmm.
And with that, I always get a little like with HIPAA. It's like, what is this? And it's signed by the individual to grant permission for their PHI to be used or disclosed for specific purposes beyond treatment, payment, healthcare operations, generally permitted without authorization under HIPAA privacy rule.
Right. So HIPAA is a law that basically says you are supposed to maintain people's health information to themselves. Like you have the right of privacy for your health information, and that information can be used in different ways. Let's say, for example, you are dying from, I don't know, you're dying from, just going to toss this out there. I'm sorry, people. This is what I can think of right off the fly. So you're passing away from AIDS, right? But you know exactly how you contracted HIV. But in general, there are a lot of people who still have a stigma to HIV because they believe, for whatever reason, that is a disease that is normally contracted by people who are homosexuals, which is not the case, because anybody can get it. But say you wanted to keep that information to yourself, I would assume that a HIPAA release would be the thing that would keep that information close. A lot of times when you hear them say, we don't know how a celebrity died, like a week to a month, sometimes several months later, is because the HIPAA release that they had is basically staying the way it is until whatever other thing they're doing with their life actually gets sorted
Yeah.
out. Can you imagine? Like, oh, okay. There was a guy, Rock Hudson. I haven't seen a Rock Hudson movie in many, many, many years. But I remember when AIDS was very, very prevalent. Well, actually, not prevalent. When it was just being discovered, that we found out that Rock Hudson had AIDS, and Rock Hudson was this very handsome leading man, and everybody, he's always with the girls and the ladies and whatever. And then they found out that he was actually gay. It turned out he was gay in this particular instance. Okay, so I don't know, people. Maybe it's a good example, maybe it's a bad example. But bottom line is, um, I haven't seen the Brock Hudson movie since. I'm not saying that I would have reached out and found him anyway, because he's kind of one of those older, like golden era of
Yeah.
Hollywood. Yeah, so
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't have seen it, but I haven't seen it on TV. I haven't heard anybody say, "Oh yes, remember, today we're gonna have that Rock Hudson movie." No, no, it's almost like they took him and put
Yeah.
him to the side
Yeah.
because nobody wants to deal with
But
that.
yeah,
So
HIPAA also covers, like, even when you go into the doctor and signing any kind of, or any test,
yeah,
and you signing that, to whom under HIPAA, to whom they can disclose
yes, yes,
um the informations about or the test results, or who
right,
they can leave a message with. This is
right,
all under HIPAA. So it's important because there are different situations.
yes,
And as a person who is going, let's say, to the hospital for different kind of treatment, you
yes.
do not might not want everyone to know what's going on, what
Okay,
you have. And one of the people in my life that I was close to, his family did not know everything, but I sat down with him, and he told me everything what he has, which I was suspecting. Um, but yeah, he chose to tell me. So
so you're right.
Yeah, so that was kind of like a disclosure under but that was in a
Yeah.
private setting. But yeah, he did not want to worry his family about certain things. There was a lot of maybe this, maybe that, but he told doctors, I don't want you to tell anyone. I don't want you to tell anyone about what's going on. So they couldn't.
Without telling me what it was the issue, can you explain how it would have affected his family? Like, for example, I know if you are passing away and the thing you're passing away from would affect insurance, like an insurance payment, I'm sure you'd try to hide something like that. But don't tell me what happened, but how did he think it was going to affect his
No,
family?
he see his family would have start well, his wife, his children would have said, "Oh my God, we are losing him." The tragic, uh,
Oh,
the most trauma would have come out,
okay.
and he did not want to deal with that. He did
Oh,
not want to
interesting.
deal with that. He When you don't know exactly what's going on,
Hmm.
you have that little flame of hope. You are approaching a person who is laying in that bed a little bit differently. It was like, so what did they say today? You feeling better? Oh, he's feeling better. Okay, he ate a little bit more today, so maybe tomorrow will be even better. Where certain situation, terminal illness, when you
Yeah,
already know
yeah.
that there is something here, something there, and it's like with my mother when we find out the tumors joined and they took over her body. No one could tell us that tomorrow will be better. We
Right.
all knew, we all know what is
Yeah,
happening. We
it's gonna
all
be
know
bad.
what was coming.
Yeah, that's rough.
So, but again, everyone is different. Everyone is processing certain informations different way. I'm the type of person. My sister told me last week because I talked to her about this course. She goes, "You are too organized." You are, because I'm thinking maybe I'm overthinking. She goes, "No, you are not overthinking. You are just too organized. You want to have everything under control." And yes, I do. Yeah, I
Yeah.
absolutely do.
Well, as much as you possibly can. I mean, there's some things you can't control, but if
Well,
you can control it, why not? Why not?
yeah,
It doesn't make any sense. It's like when I see people like really go all out on like drugs or alcohol, and I'm like, I don't know if I can have other people around me or be even by myself and be that I don't know, out of control. It's a little out there, and that's me. Sorry, people. That maybe that's not you or whatever, but
you know,
that's
I
my.
take, like I told you at the beginning of our show. To
Mhm.
me, death is part of living. I want to pass, or at least leave something behind me, um the way I live. um I mean, you know I wear bright colors, I have light hair, I cannot be missed very easily on a street. So I don't want my passing to be like, oh, okay, she was here today, tomorrow she's no longer, we're moving on. I told you at the beginning, when we start working together, that um I want to leave something behind me. I want to leave a mark after me in this world.
Mhm.
Thanks to you, I achieved that. Thanks
I
to my
mean,
husband, I achieved that.
no question, no
Yeah.
question. I mean, if it's just the digital footprint alone, we have left hours and hours and hours of
Yes.
lovely information for your ancestors and mine. So it is what it is.
Yes.
But yes, isn't
But
that great? That's actually a great way to close. Like,
yes.
yeah,
But
we
that's
are
it.
going to be just like,
I have all the information because I have a way in my mind, the
mhm.
way I want to I want to say goodbye to everybody because
Mhm.
it's the funeral celebration. It's not only people saying goodbye to you. I take that also as a person. Just this is the last meeting when you are laying somewhere or standing in a urn or whatever. This is the last meeting. So I want to like for me, it's waving goodbye from behind the curtain, and I want them to remember that and nothing different,
Yeah,
so
yeah. You want to
um
be specific.
that's why I want to do this certain way. I want certain music to be played. I want certain colors of flowers to be there, you know and it will be very nice to at the very end. I bought this years ago. I still have to fill it up certain things.
Okay, okay. I'm dead now. What is he going to fill out the stuff and leave it with David? So and
Yes.
make sure that I make sure you do the stuff that's there.
So you get your million instead of triplets.
No, not a million. We'll make sure that your hair is done up a certain
Oh,
way, and that you're wearing the
yeah.
blue glasses, not the red ones, or
Yeah,
whatever it is that you
well,
want to have in there.
like the urn I bought is red with gold things
Okay,
on them.
go
Don't
ahead.
laugh because I have that already.
Hey, it's gonna match. Gotta
And,
make it. We have the book. We gotta put the book right beside the coffin. All that. It'll be
books,
great. It'll be
books,
fantastic.
not only
Absolutely.
book, not only books. There will be books.
Books. Right, right, right. And then we're gonna play the song, the theme song for the.
Absolutely,
Okay, okay.
absolutely, absolutely. So
Ladies, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know what we're talking about, we are talking about her soon to be award winning book,
yes,
Seven Rings, One Love by Agnes Amisano. And there's a song and there's a music video. There's an album coming. We're having a really good time getting that all done. Before we end, I am going to say I grew up in a rural part of my life. I spent in a rural part of Jamaica. When I truly started to understand what it was like to be a Jamaican, I was living with my aunt and uncle most of the time because my mother was working in Kingston in the city, but I lived in a little town called Goshen with my aunt and uncle. And that was close to Santa Cruz all age, and that's where I went to school. Yesterday, one of their sons that I grew up with passed away. His name was Clive Richards. Clive passed away yesterday. And so it's an interesting thing to be talking about today. Um, Clive was, there were a lot of great things to say about Clive. He was very powerful. He had a very strong sense of justice. Um, I will say those things. You try not to say negative things about but there was also, he was a listen, the guy walked into the room and you noticed him. He had to be like 6'5", maybe 6'7", really tall, dark skinned, strikingly handsome man. Knew judo. I think he taught himself judo because he had a judo book and he like showed it to me and whatever. He didn't really hang out with me like that because I wasn't in his age group. I was much younger, maybe 10 years, maybe even younger than that. So he was an adult when I was a child and living there, 7 and 8, but he passed away the other day. And I've always thought of him as this person who, despite being born with rheumatic fever, or like he was told that he was not going to pass, because I guess back in those days, this wasn't like a disease that you would think. So they told him he was probably not going to live past 25 or 30, and so he lived his life to the fullest, and I admired that so very much. I mean, the women and the weed and the cars. I mean, he went all out, did as much as he could. And as it turned out, because he was constantly like um, exercising and doing the judo and all this stuff. He's lived to what 70 something. Yeah, he's lived to 70 something and just passed away the other day. And I'm hoping that he passed away um, peacefully. I know he was around family and they were taking care of him at the end because he was not well. Um, and goodbye, Clive. I mean, bye. Uh, uh, in Jamaica, we say walk good, and take care of yourself. I hope you're in a better place, because sometimes the this current plane um, wasn't as kind to you as it could have been. All right. All right. With that, we're gonna lock up. We're done. Are we done
Yes,
today?
for tonight, yes, we are.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Love, Death, and Taxes. We'll be here next week. I do want to say to you that we are hoping that you would like and subscribe if you enjoyed the show. If you're looking to pick up a copy of not Love, Death, and Taxes, Seven
That's
Rings,
next
One
one.
Love, that too. You're gonna go to Agnes's website at agnesamisano.com/publications. Like I said, it's called The Seven Rings, One Love. It's kind of a biography, but it's really a great novel. It's a great read. You're gonna love it. I promise you, you're gonna love it. And there's no judgment whatsoever. If you don't, that's all right. And if you have an idea for a show, although the next 3 or so are going to probably be about this topic here. But if you do have an idea or you do want to talk to us about transition to death and things that you have done or things you have experienced, you can do that by sending an email to mailbag@lovedeathandtaxes.com. It'd be great to hear from you and see you. Agnes, you have anything else say before we go?
Stay safe and see you next week.
All right. See you all next week. Bye bye. Take care.